In your headlines, head of a local church in Providenciales has been sentenced for sexual assault. Part 2 of the interview with Deputy Leader of the Opposition. And a blazing fire gutted a home on Hospital Road in Grand Turk. From the PTV Broadcasting Headquarters in Providenciales, your #1 source for news, I'm Erica Pinales, delivering the latest from across the country this Friday, February 25th, 2022, right to your door. Newswatch starts now. We take it that this is perhaps good news for our migrant population. The Minister of Health recently announced that he is not in favor of a mandate for booster shots for our migrant residences. Hear all about it.
During the February 24th National Health Update, Minister of Health Honorable Jamel Robinson was asked to share his thoughts on the low interest in the booster shot. And he says while he is a bit disappointed in the low numbers, it is highly unlikely that it would be mandated for some, as was with the vaccine in the past.
The one thing that I wouldn't do, or what I wouldn't support, would be to tie it to any other mandate, as we would have done in the past when we were in a more critical situation in terms of having the requirement for vaccination linked to all of the various status applications, so work permits, PRC, et cetera. That's something I wouldn't personally support because it's your personal health.
But don't get it twisted, officials are still encouraging all to get their booster shots as it keeps hospitalizations at a minimum. When probed on his thoughts on where he feels booster hesitancy stems from, this was his response.
I believe in the public's eye. It's like, well, you told me this was the thing to cure me, and now you're telling me a booster shot is the other thing to keep you out of the hospital, as well as in some jurisdictions, you're asking persons to take another booster shot. And we're talking about in short intervals at that. So it's just one of those things where we just have to figure out a way from our standpoint to answer all the questions that people might have or the concerns they might have about taking up the booster.
Honorable Robinson says he simply believes it has much to do with the rapid development of information surrounding the virus.
There is just simply COVID fatigue because COVID has been dynamic and fast moving. So the things I rightfully tell you today might change in another month. So someone who's been told that getting vaccinated will help you to do all these things. As the virus would have evolved over time, what was true in January, February of last year became untrue, but it evolved. So the efficacy in terms of catching and spreading was one thing. The ability to avoid severe disease was another thing early on, meaning very high 90s, et cetera. And then over time, as the variants change, all of those things would have lowered to an extent.
However, it is important for persons to consider these points.
On the flip side of that, you also have to deal with the consequences of your decisions, because you can't have it where you have a responsibility to take it or not take it, and you exercise that right by not taking it, which would be the majority of the persons who originally took the vaccine, as well as persons who haven't taken the vaccine completely. And then knowing that, one, we only have a high dependency unit in country. Two, we have to send you away for ICU care. And three, in some instances, the locations which only accepts or who have accepted our unvaccinated ICU cases are places that also happen to have a policy in place about cremation.
While this is much to consider for those still pondering taking the booster shot, officials shared that still in January, the hospital saw 45 admissions when compared to the 4 admissions recorded for February.
2 months after being found guilty of sexual assault, head of a local church in Providenciales has been sentenced. Details in this report.
76-year-old leader of the Church of God of Prophecy, Bishop Clarence Williams, was finally sentenced this Thursday. Last December 15th, he was convicted on 2 counts of indecent assault on an adult male. Appearing before Justice Tanya Loban Jackson in a Providenciale Supreme Court with his attorneys, Williams was sentenced to an 18-month suspended sentence. Williams was first charged with the offenses on August 27, 2019. During his trial, he was represented by Queen's Counsel Jerome Lynch and attorney Mark Fulford. The bishop has always maintained his innocence in the matter, stating at one point that his accuser was motivated by blackmail. Casting doubt on his accuser, the bishop at the time claimed that the man's credibility was suspect and that he was of bad character. Williams further claimed that his accuser had asked for money, and because he had refused, he was threatened that his reputation would be ruined. While the bishop continues to maintain his innocence in this matter, throughout the case, allegations poured out of the Bahamas that he himself is not of such good character in matters of a similar nature, with numerous unsubstantiated claims that he is a molester of young men in that country. Newswatch has been unable so far to verify any of these claims. For PTV Newswatch, I am Delana Isles.
Don't go anywhere. More Newswatch when we return.
This is a reminder that all PTV service accounts are due on the first day of each month. Accounts should be brought up to date by the 28th of the month to avoid disruption in service. Payments may be made on our office at Stubbs Diamond Plaza, Providenciales, Mides Plaza, North Caicos, and Airport Road in South Caicos. Payments may also be made online using Scotiabank, CIBC First Caribbean Bank, and Royal Bank of Canada. Please allow 3 business days for online payments to be processed. We thank you for your cooperation.
Welcome back to Newswatch. The solace of a Grand Turk community was interrupted yet again by a blazing fire that gutted a home on Hospital Road. Here's what Newswatch can say of the very unfortunate incident.
Yet another Grand Turk family experiences great loss after their Hospital Road home was destroyed in a blazing fire around 7 p.m. on Thursday evening. Newswatch understands that the Colebrook home was occupied at the time of the fire. However, the home's dwellers were unable to gather their belongings before the residents became engulfed in flames. Newswatch also understands that one person was injured and was taken to the hospital for treatment. Just weeks ago, a 2-story West Road home was also destroyed. Firefighters were called when neighbors saw flames and heavy smoke emanating from the newly renovated Airbnb in the wee hours of the morning on February 1st. In their efforts to stun the issue of arson and to take preventative measures toward the complete destruction of structures to accidental fires, over on the Capitol, police held a town hall meeting to speak on their plans to increase community policing in certain areas of the island.
We know you are concerned about the issue of fires on Grand Turk. We are focused and determined to bring those to justice, but also to effect a sustainable change and sustainable solution. We need you to work with us. There is clearly a damaging culture of arson and fire setting, and this has been the case for a long time. It's imperative we now work together to deal with this long-standing issue and bring a feeling of safety back to Grand Turk.
That was Commissioner of Police Trevor Botting in his address on the Grand Turk fires earlier this month.
Deputy Leader of the Opposition, Robert Bean Jr., says that the current administration is out of touch and not living in reality. This is part 2. inquiring to the Premier how citizens and residents would benefit from custom exemptions, stamp duties, reduced fees if they don't have access to capital to make the first purchase. In this part 2 of an interview Newswatch conducted with Deputy Leader of the Opposition Robert Bean Jr., he started with saying that the average citizen will not benefit from the reduced stamp duties because they won't have enough funds to.
How is that average person going to qualify for the loan to actually benefit from, I think it's 6%, it reduced to 6% in Providenciales stamp duties? These are questions you have to answer. You can offer 100% stamp duty on a piece of parcel right now. Of course, it would be purchased privately because the Crown Land unit is actually under review, reviewing the Crown Land policy. So we currently are referring to private lots, which means the average person definitely will need to go to a bank to seek financing. So even though you would have a reduce on your stamp duty, how are we going to get our local average citizen qualified for this? So you're only satisfying a handful of people. And of course, again, I'm pretty sure most are grateful for what has been said. But this is nothing new, because the PDM administration did basically a similar approach. The only thing this PNP government would have done was increase it from 20,000 to 50,000.
Bean said that every dollar the average person is earning is going towards basic essentials, extending congratulations on leaving the small man out, because that is what he believes the current administration did.
We need a government that is actually going to fix that problem. As you can see, we are experiencing so many people that's complaining, but you know, the beach access being blocked. You heard about it in Grand Turkey. You heard about what happened in Leawood just recently, I think, as far as this week or last week. The reason why this is happening is because a lot of people has no respect for the people that are really, truly in need. Now, if we were to empower our Turks and Caicos Islanders, any foreigner that comes here to invest in our country would have a second look before they even attempt to restrict or block a beach access or speak or talk to any one of our citizens in any kind of way. There is no level of respect when it comes to dealing with some of our average Turks and Caicos Islanders. And why? It's because we have those that's in power, in position, that sometimes tend to feel that those persons aren't important. And what my point is, we have to remember these are the same people that actually supports our political party as well as the middle class, the rich.
Bean explained that what he believes the State of State address was an approach to try and fool the people of the TCI that in their first year, they actually made some effective implementations or changes to the country.
This Progressive National Party failed to do a number of things that could have changed and benefit lives of the average citizens. So the purpose of my rebuttal to his release was that you're completely out of touch. The things yourself and your administration discuss is nowhere near in sight of what the average person in TCI need. We are still facing health issues. We are dealing with crime almost going on a day-to-day basis right now. What plans have this government rolled out in combating crime?
Don't touch that remote. We'll be right back. Coming up next is your weather forecast.
This is a reminder that all PTV service accounts are due on the first day of each month. Accounts should be brought up to date by the 28th of the month to avoid disruption in service. Payments may be made on our office at Stubbs Diamond Plaza, Providenciales, Mides Plaza, North Caicos, and Airport Road in South Caicos. Payments may also be made online using Scotiabank, CIBC First Caribbean Bank, and Royal Bank of Canada. Please allow 3 business days for online payments to be processed. We thank you for your cooperation.
Welcome back to Newswatch. Here's the latest in your weather forecast. Here's your 3-day weather forecast. For the nation's capital, Grand Turk, on Saturday, Mostly sunny skies, high 79, low 75, winds east at 15 to 25 miles per hour. On Sunday, mostly sunny skies, high 79, low 75, winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. On Monday, mostly sunny skies, high 80, low 74, winds east-southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. For South Caicos on Saturday, mostly sunny skies, high 79, low 74, winds east at 15 to 25 miles per hour. On Sunday, mostly sunny skies, high 79, low 75, winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. On Monday, mostly sunny skies, high 80, low 74, winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. For North and Middle Caicos on Saturday, mostly sunny skies, high 81, low 74, winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. On Sunday, mostly sunny skies, high 80, low 74, winds east at 10 to 15 miles per hour. On Monday, mostly sunny skies, high 79, low 73, winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. For Parrot and Pine Key on Saturday, mostly sunny skies, high 80, low 73, winds east at 15 to 25 miles per hour. On Sunday, mostly sunny skies, high 80, low 74, winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. On Monday, mostly sunny skies, high 79, low 74, winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And on Providenciales on Saturday, mostly sunny skies, high 80, low 73, winds east at 15 to 25 miles per hour. On Sunday, mostly sunny skies, high 80, low 74, winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. And on Monday, mostly sunny skies, high 79, low 74, winds east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Now for your sunrise and sunset. Sunrise 6:13 a.m., sunset 5:53 p.m., and for your high tides and low tides, high tides 3:30 a.m., 3:59 p.m., and low tides 10:02 a.m., 10:03 p.m. And that's it for your weather forecast. We'll be right back with more News Watch.
Here at People's Television, we're more than just your leading news and entertainment services. We are
spreading the gospel.
We are breaking barriers.
We are preserving the culture. Each one, teach one.
We are committed to excellence.
We're creating change.
We are creating memories.
We are the future. I am PTV.
I am PTV. I am PTV.
I am PTV.
We are PTV.
We are continuing the legacy. We are PTV.
Officers from the Safeguarding and Public Protection Unit formally charged and cautioned 31-year-old Donardo Ewing of the Lower Bight in Providenciales for the offense of rape in relation to a report made on Sunday, July 18, 2021. The Ministry of Physical Planning and Infrastructure Development has released a number of projects for bidding under the Public Sector Investment Program. Here's a look at what's available.
With just 4 weeks remaining to the end of the 2021-2022 financial year, interested contractors are being urged to submit their bids for several new projects under the Physical Planning and Infrastructure Ministry. The projects open for bidding are construction of a mechanical services workshop in Grand Turk, construction of floating dock facilities also in Grand Turk, furniture and equipment for the Public Works Department, procurement of vehicles for the Public Works Department and the Ministry of Finance, and construction of the 5 Keys Retention Pond in Providenciales. Honorable Akira Mesick, Minister of Infrastructure says there are opportunities at various levels for partnership with government in the development of infrastructure, whether new construction, demolition, or renovations in these islands. She says that several contractors remain unaware of the opportunities that are presently open for competitive bidding within her ministry, and she wants to ensure that all of the opportunities the government creates are well advertised. The minister is strongly urging construction companies at various levels to review what is on offer and take part in helping them build a stronger and sustainable Turks and Caicos Islands. Contractors can find more information on what is on offer on the government's website. For PTV News Watch, I'm Delana Isles.
This story has so much valid information that we thought we'd run it again just in case you missed it. Asked what advice he'd give to someone battling a mental health disorder, Drexwell responded,
I suffer from inferiority complex for many, many years. And I know many people are struggling, whether it's inferiority complex, whether it's depression, whether it's lack of confidence. We are suffering. People are suffering. I think we have to reach a point in our lives where we have to find someone to talk to. And I think one of the main reasons why we struggle in life is because we're under a lot of pressure from society. Society has set certain standards that we must follow. And when you realize that you're not living up to those standards, you end up becoming depressed because you cannot please people. And so we have to reach a point where we're not comparing ourselves to anybody, where you have to be you. Everybody is unique. I'm not like you, you're not like me. And we have to reach that point where we love ourselves, recognize who we are, and live your life to please you and not other people. And I don't know how it's going to happen, but it requires, I believe, counseling. It requires speaking to someone to guide you and to encourage you, to lift you up.
Drexwell explained that we don't have to be depressed and that our depression comes from not meeting the standards that other people set for us to meet. He continued to his thoughts on the topic of mental health in the Turks and Caicos.
It's real. It exists. I don't believe we're talking too much about it. I know it's recognized during a particular month of the year. I don't know which month that is. But there's a lot of stigma associated with mental health. I believe we all have some mental issues, so to speak, right? And we need to talk about it more even on a monthly basis. And people are even afraid to talk about it because if they talk about it, people are going to label them as being crazy. But you could have mental issues and not be crazy. You know what I mean? You could be under a lot of mental pressure. That doesn't mean you are crazy. But mental health is underexplored in Turks and Caicos, and a lot of people are going through it. And we need to, I know there's a department. I think they're trying their best. Maybe they're understaffed, I don't know. But we need more work. We need to explore and talk more about it. And we need to have testimonies from people who went through it, and even those who are going through it. It's not something that happens overnight, but it's amazing. But people can be, I believe things can be resolved. People can overcome mental health.
He revealed that growing up, there was a quote that resonated with him up to now, which aided him during the hardest times of his life.
There's a quote that I grew up with, and what goes around comes around. So whatever I do, I try to do things knowing that the decision I make could impact other people. It could impact my children, it could impact my wife. So whatever I do, I don't want it to go to them. So I try to live a life whereby I live the right way, because I believe what goes around will come around. And you don't want, and a lot of people are suffering today because of the decisions their parents have made and their grandparents have made. And they don't realize why they're going through what they're going through. It's because of what the decision their parents did. And it's like a curse is coming on them. So I try to live a good life so it doesn't pass. Whatever happens, it'll be blessings to my children and not curses.
Seymour also gave insight to one of his upcoming projects where he'll take his teachings onto an international level.
So, I did the book, Rise Up and Take a Position. I did this short film on inferiority complex and colorism. It's called Rise Up, Nobody's Better Than You. And then we also did a song, that Barbara Johnson sang. She and I co-wrote the song, and she sang it, called Rise Up, Nobody's Better Than You. So I'm working on a second book this year. So what I want to do this year is to go international, where I go have speaking engagements, where I talk more about the book, where I encourage more people, to rise up and take their position. It's beyond Turks and Caicos. I believe my purpose is beyond Turks and Caicos.
Confidently, Drexwell admitted that now that he's finally overcome the inferiority complex that plagued his life, he finally considers himself a success, which he never expected.
No, 30 years ago I would have been 22. No, I would never expect myself to come this far, because at that time, 30 years ago, I was still suffering from inferiority complex. So I didn't even know I was going to be alive, because there are times I say, man, is it worth being alive? And so, no, I'm very thankful that I am where I am today. But definitely 30 years ago, I never imagined I'd be where I am today.
Drexwell said that although he still gets reminders and painful flashbacks of the inferiority complex, he's still grateful for them as they serve as tests to see if he's truly over it, and the constant prayer and support from his family is what gives him strength to overcome the inferiority complex each day.
It can mess your mind up. It can make you lose your mind, because it can even make you consider committing suicide. It's very bad. I mean, there are probably different levels of inferiority complex, but it could make you just stay indoors and not even go out to what you're supposed to be doing. Like, you're going to be hiding from people, you don't know nobody to see you, you're not being yourself. It just makes you makes you feel abnormal, and it's very, very tragic, and I don't think anybody should have to go through that, all because of stupidity and ignorance, really, but it happens, and it's very sad.
Seymour then shared his advice to persons who may be seeking self-love, embarking on their success journey, or simply struggling with mental health issues of their own.
I would tell people that you may not find it immediately. It may be a long time, or maybe a short time. But what I would say to you is not to give up. And as I mentioned in my book, the very moment that you give up may be the same time your breakthrough may come through. So no matter how long it takes, know that there is a purpose for you. Know that you are on a journey, and you will achieve your destination. But to get to that destination, you will meet obstacles in the way. But don't ever let those obstacles deter you from reaching your destination. Just keep trying over and over again, no matter how many times. Just keep trying.
That brings us to the end of this edition of The Real News. I hate to leave you so soon, but of course, you can join us right back here every weekday at 6:30 p.m. and tap into our social media platforms at www.ptv8tci.com. I'm Erica Pinales, keeping you informed, updated, and affiliated. Until next time.